Coming up, the Devils fall short 3-1 to the Carolina Hurricanes, and now they embark on a 4-game road trip.
Welcome to the Devil's Island Podcast, broadcasting from the east end of Long Island. Whether you're in New Jersey or somewhere around the world, as a Devils fan, you may feel like a castaway. Well, Devils fanatics, join us, because you can always feel at home here on Devil's Island. And now, here is your host, Chris Suswal.
Hey, fellow castaways, you're on Devil's Island, and if you enjoy your stay, please like, share, and subscribe to stay in the mix. And as always, feel free to drop a line, share your thoughts and comments to devilsislandpodcast@gmail.com. Well, the Devils fall short, losing 3-1 at home against the Carolina Hurricanes, and this game is one that was a bit of a head scratcher. In the first period, with all the excitement, the Devils had just had a stretch where they had points in 3 out of their last 4 games, and they were playing the top team in the Metro Division against the Carolina Hurricanes, also facing the Hurricanes' backup goaltender, and it did not go well. Within a minute of starting the game, the Devils let up the first goal, and what a goal it was. Nikolai Ehlers gets credit for a goal when he's the last Carolina Hurricane to touch the puck. Allen comes out, makes a save, and Luke Hughes, instead of clearing around the side, gets an own goal. That was really a tough way to start the game, but the Devils battled back. Midway through the first period, we got to see Dawson Mercer get on the board. He's in the slot. He gets a nice shot off and gets a goal, hasn't scored in almost a month. And this is what I was talking about with the Devils needing an added scoring touch with Dawson Mercer when we previewed the 2026 outlook, and he was on the top 5 for things that need to happen for the Devils to be competitive, for Dawson Mercer to just get going, and glad to see him on the board. Hopefully that continues, but the Devils entered the second period, tied 1-1, and what happens? Luke Hughes, probably having the worst game of his career, definitely of the season. He grabs the puck in the defensive zone, and instead of going behind the net or up the sidewall, he decides to skate right in front of Jake Allen. And who's on top of him? None other than Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall just follows him in and pokes the puck right past Jake Allen. And Luke Hughes was feeling it. He was hearing it from the crowd every time he touched the puck after that. Basically almost going for a reverse hat trick on the night. He did have some better moments later in the game where he buckled down a bit. He was controlling the puck and he redeemed himself somewhat with some good passes and a shot or two, but it just was not enough. And these types of things just get magnified when the Devils are not scoring goals. And we go into the third period, the Devils are down 2-1, and they come out and perform well in terms of outshooting and outchancing Carolina. They go on 3 straight power plays from the end of the second period into the third, and nothing. They have shot after shot, maybe way too many passes, and this team needs to figure out the power play if they're going to beat the top teams like Carolina. Further into the third period, the Devils are pounding Brendan Bussey with multiple shots on all different angles. At one point, it looks like they tied up, and the goal gets disallowed because the net was dislodged. They go to review. There's an explanation to Coach Keefe, and it wasn't meant to be. At that point, the Devils were still on the power play, so they had some more chances, but going 0 for 5 on the power play for the night is just an absolute killer, especially against a team like Carolina. You just cannot make too many mistakes, even though Carolina is a little bit banged up and we're coming off a back-to-back, as well as the Devils on 2 nights in a row. And we're just going to have to look to further in the month when Carolina comes back on a Sunday to play the Devils again. They're going to need a better performance. And looking at the game stats, the Devils were 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. So if you're looking for positives, there's something there. They did out-hit Carolina 22-16, and they also tied Carolina in terms of shots produced with 29-29. But once again, those mistakes, the 1 or 2 mistakes by Hughes, as well as just not performing on the power play, that all equals a loss. So what now? The Devils embark on an all-important 4-game road trip. The Devils need to get points to stay close to the wild card. They were 1 point behind entering today, and they play the Islanders, where they had a 1-1 tie late in the third. They let up a goal just a week and a half ago, and they need to play better, score some more goals, and beat the Islanders on the island, get some redemption there. Then they head to Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden, Pittsburgh is now on a 5-game winning streak. That's going to be another tough game. And you head all the way up to Canada to play Winnipeg, and the Winnipeg Jets are reeling this year. So if the Devils can get a win or two before then, head into Winnipeg, maybe continue this streak where the Devils are compiling some points and staying in the mix before the Olympic break. And of course, next Monday night, the Devils play the Minnesota Wild. So get ready for the Hughes Bowl. Hopefully Jack and Luke can outperform Quinn after all the trade talk earlier in the year where the Devils were tied to getting Quinn to join his brothers. And now Quinn looks like he is a huge part of the Minnesota Wild as they are in second place overall in the Western Conference. And that will be a game to watch. So fellow castaways, until next time, keep your fire burning. Let's go Devils.